Welcome, everybody. This is Alan with Daily Armour of God. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're doing well. This is reading the Old Testament in 150 days. We're on day 46. Today, I'll be reading more Joshua and Psalm 46. So, we are basically at the point where they came into the promised land and they conquered mostly everybody, left some people alive, but we'll get to that later. And now they're dividing up the land. So today's reading will be a little bit about the areas. And so I just want to say before we start that this can be a little dry because if we don't have a map in front of us, plus, even if we did, um, you know, border lines change throughout the years and all this stuff. So I recommend if you have a Bible that has a map, like an old style map, to look at that to see where all the children of Israel used to have their land, their territory. But it's just really hard because all the names changed, areas changed. So um, just glean what you can out of the reading and don't get discouraged from a little bit of dry stuff. So, Joshua 15, verse 1. This then was the lot of the tribe of the children of Judah by their families, even to the border of Edom, the wilderness of Zin, southward, was the utmost parts of the south coast. And their south border was from the shore of the salt sea, from the bay that looketh southward. And it went out to the south side of Malahacrabim, and passed along to Zin, and ascended up on the south side unto Kadesh Barnea, and passed along to Hezron, and went up to Adar, and fetched a compass to Karka. From thence it passed toward Asmon, and went out unto the river of Egypt, and the goings out of the coast were at the sea. This shall be your south coast. And the east border was the salt sea, even to the end of Jordan, and their border in the north quarter was from the bay of the sea at the uttermost part of Jordan. And the border went up to Beth Holga, and passed along by the north of Beth Harabah, and the border went up to the stone of Bohan, the son of Reuben. And the border went up toward Debir from the valley of Achor, and so northward, looking toward Gilgal, that is before the going up to Adumim, which is on the south side of the river, and the border passed toward the waters of Enshemesh, and the goings out thereof were at Enrogel. And the border went up by the valley of the son of Hinnom unto the south side of the Jebusite, the same as Jerusalem, and the border went up to the top of the mountain that lieth before the valley of Hinnom westward, which is at the end of the valley of the giants northward. And the border was drawn from the top of the hill unto the fountain of the water of Nephtoah, and went out to the cities of Mount Ephron, and the border was drawn to Bala, which is Kirjath Jearim. And the border compassed from Bela westward unto Mount Seir, and passed along unto the side of Mount Jearim, which is Cheshsalon. On the north side it went down to Bethshemesh, and passed on to Timnah. And the border went up out unto the side of Ekron northward. And the border was drawn to Shikron, and passed along the mount of Bala, and went out unto Jabneel. And the goings out of the border were at the sea. And the west border was to the great sea, and the coast thereof. This is the coast of the children of Judah round about according to their families. And unto Caleb the son of Jephunneh he gave part among the children of Judah, according to the commandment of the Lord to Joshua, even the city of Arba, the father of Anak, which is the city of Hebron. And Caleb drove thence the 3 sons of Anak, Sheshai, Ahiman, Talmai, the children of Anak. So remember, Anak, that name came up. Anak, Anakims, same people, race of giants. Anakims, Anak. And he went up thence to the inhabitants of Debir, and the name of Debir before was Kirjath Sepher. And Caleb said, He that smiteth Kirjath Sepher, and taketh it, to him will I give Achsah my daughter to wife. And Othniel the son of Kenaz, the brother of Caleb, took it, and he gave him Achsah his daughter to wife. And it came to pass that she came unto him, that she moved him to ask of her father a field. And she lighted off her ass, and Caleb said to her, What wouldest thou? Who answered, Give me a blessing, for thou hast given me a south land, give me also springs of water. And he gave her the upper springs and the nether springs. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Judah according to their families. And the othermost cities, the tribe of the children of Judah, toward the coast of Edom southward, were Kabzeel and Adar and Jagur and Kinnah and Dimona and Adadah and Kadesh and Hazor and Ithan, Ziph and Telim and Beloth and Hazar, Hadatah and Kerioth and Hezron, which is Hazar, Amam and Shema and Moladah and Hazar Gadah and Heshmon and Beth Pelet and Hazar Shual and Beersheba and Bizjothjah, Bala and Lim and Azim and Eltolad and Cheslil and Hormah and Ziklag and Madmanah and Sansana and Naboth and Shilhim and Ain and Rimmon, all the cities were 29 with their villages. And in the valley, Eshtol and Zorah and Ashna and Zanoah and Enganim, Tapua and Enam, Jarmuth and Adullam, Succoth and Azekah, and Sharim and Adathaim and Gedera and Gederothaim, 14 cities with their villages, Zanan and Hadashah and Migdalag, and Dalim and Mizpeh and Joktheel, Lachish and Bozkath and Eglon and Kabon and Lamam and Kithlish and Gederoth, Beth Dagon, Nama, Makkedah, 16 cities with their villages, Libnah and Ether and Ashan and Tiptah and Ashna and Nezib, and Kiliah and Akazib and Marashah, 9 cities with their villages, Ekron with her towns and her villages, from Ekron even into the sea, all that lay near Ashdod with their villages, Ashdod with her towns and her villages, Gaza with her towns and her villages, unto the river of Egypt and the great sea, and the border thereof. And in the mountains, Shamir and Jatir and Succoth and Dana and Kirjasana, which is Debir, and Anab and Eshtema and Enim, and Goshen and Holon and Gilo, 11 cities with their villages, Arab and Dama and Eshin and Janum and Beth Tapua and Apika and Humta and Kirjatharba, which is Hebron, and Zior, 9 cities with their villages, Maon, Carmel, and Zip and Jutah, and Jezreel and Jokdeam and Zanoah, Cain, Gibeah, and Timnah, 10 cities with their villages, Halhol, Bethzur, and Gedor, and Marath, and Bethanoth, and Elkaton, 6 cities with their villages, Kirjath Baal, which is Kirjath Jearim, and Rabbah, 2 cities with their villages, in the wilderness, Betharabah, Midin, and Sekakah, and Nibshan, and the city of Salt, and Engedi, 6 cities with their villages. As for the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the children of Judah could not drive them out, but the Jebusites dwell with the children of Judah at Jerusalem unto this day. Yeah, so it's not just the Jebusites, but if you remember, Moses and God himself warned the children of Israel to wipe out everyone. And what would happen if they didn't? It was prophesied and told and warned that they will be a thorn in their side. And we're going to read that they will be a thorn in their side coming up when we get to the time of Judges. Oh, they are a thorn in their side. That's putting it lightly. But we'll get to that when it comes to it. Joshua 16. And the lot of the children of Joseph fell from Jordan by Jericho into the water of Jericho, on the east side to the wilderness that goeth up from Jericho throughout Mount Bethel, and goeth out from Bethel to Luz, and passeth along unto the borders of Arki to Ataroth, and goeth down westward to the coast of Jableti, and to the coast of Beth Horon, the nether, and to Gezer, and the goings out thereof are at the sea. So the children of Joseph, Manasseh, and Ephraim took all their inheritance. And the border of the children of Ephraim according to their families was thus. Even the border of their inheritance on the east side was Atarothadar unto Bethhoron the upper, and the border went out toward the sea of Michmethah on the north side, and the border went out eastward unto Tanath Shiloh, and passed by it on the east side to Janoah, and it went down from Janoah to Ataroth and to Narath, and came to Jericho, and went out at Jordan. The border went from Tapua westward to the river Kana, and the goings out thereof were by the sea. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Ephraim by their families. And the separate cities for the children of Ephraim were among the inheritance of the children of Manasseh, all the cities with their villages. And they drave not out the Canaanites that dwelt in Gezer, but the Canaanites dwelt among the Ephraimites unto this day, and serve unto tribute. So, see, there's all these different people that they didn't fully drive out. Canaanites, right? All these people that God told them, wipe out everyone. But they didn't listen. Joshua 17. There was also a lot for the tribe of Manasseh, for he was the firstborn of Joseph, to wit, for Machir the firstborn of Manasseh, the father of Gilead, because he was a man of war, therefore he had Gilead and Bashan. There was also a lot for the rest of the children of Manasseh by their families, for the children of Abiezer, and for the children of Helek, and for the children of Asriel, and for the children of Shechem, and for the children of Hefer, and for the children of Shemitah. These were the male children of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, by their families. But Zelophehad, the son of Hefer, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, had no sons, but daughters, and these are the names of his daughters, Mahlah, and Noah, and Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. And it came near before Eleazar the priest, and before Joshua the son of Nun, and before the princes, saying, The Lord commanded Moses to give us an inheritance among our brethren. Therefore, according to the commandment of the Lord, he gave them an inheritance among the brethren of their father. And there fell 10 portions to Manasseh, beside the land of Gilead and Bashan, which were on the other side Jordan, because the daughters of Manasseh had an inheritance among his sons, and the rest of Manasseh's sons had the land of Gilead. And the coast of Manasseh was from Asher to Michmethah, that lieth before Shechem, and the border went along the right hand unto the inhabitants of Entappuah. Now Manasseh had the land of Tappuah, but Tappuah and the border of Manasseh belonged to the children of Ephraim. And the coast descended into the river Kanah, southward of the river. These cities of Ephraim are among the cities of Manasseh. The coast of Manasseh also was on the north side of the river, and the outgoings of it were at the sea. Southward it was Ephraim's, and northward it was Manasseh's, and the sea is his border. And they met together in Asher on the north, and Issachar on the east. And Manasseh had in Issachar and in Asher Bethshean and her towns, and Ibleam and her towns, and the inhabitants of Dor and her towns, and the inhabitants of Endor and her towns, and the inhabitants of Tanakh and her towns, and the inhabitants of Megiddo and her towns, even 3 countries. Yet the children of Manasseh could not drive out the inhabitants of those cities, but the Canaanites would dwell in the land. So more Canaanites that they couldn't drive out. Yet it came to pass when the children of Israel were waxing strong that they put the Canaanites to tribute, but did not utterly drive them out. Remember, God wanted them to utterly be driven out. God and Moses. God told Moses, Moses told them, warned them, gave them prophecy. If they didn't, they'd be a thorn on their side. And that will come to pass, sadly. And the children of Joseph spake unto Joshua, saying, Why hast thou given me but one lot and one portion to inherit, seeing I am a great people, for as much as the Lord hath blessed me hitherto? And Joshua answered them, If thou be a great people, then get thee up to the wood country, and cut down for thyself there in the land of the Pezerites and of the giants, if Mount Ephraim be too narrow for thee. And the children of Joseph said, The hill is not enough for us, and all the Canaanites that dwell in the land of the valley have chariots of iron, both they who are of Bethshean and her towns, and they who are of the valley of Jezreel. And Joshua spake unto the house of Joseph, even to Ephraim and to Manasseh, saying, Thou art a great people, and hast great power. Thou shalt not have one lot only, but the mountain shall be thine, for it is a wood, and thou shalt cut it down, and the outgoings of it shall be thine, and thou shalt drive out the Canaanites, though they have iron chariots, and though they be strong. Joshua 18. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel assembled together at Shiloh, and set up the tabernacle of the congregation there, and the land was subdued before them. And there remained among the children of Israel 7 tribes which had not yet received their inheritance. And Joshua said unto the children of Israel, How long are ye slack to go to possess the land which the Lord your Lord God of your fathers hath given you? Give out from among you 3 men for each tribe, and I will send them, and they shall rise and go throughout the land and describe it according to the inheritance of them, and they shall come again to me. And they shall divide it into 7 parts. Judah shall abide in their coast on the south, and the house of Joseph shall abide in their coast on the north. Ye shall therefore describe the land into 7 parts. and bring the description hither to me, that I may cast lots for you here before the Lord our God. But the Levites have no part among you, for the priesthood of the Lord is their inheritance. And Gad and Reuben and half the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance beyond Jordan on the east, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave them. And the men arose and went away, and Joshua charged them that went to describe the land, saying, Go and walk through the land and describe it, and come again to me, that I may here cast lots for you before the Lord in Shiloh. And the men went and passed through the land, and described it by cities into 7 parts in a book, and came again to Joshua, the host at Shiloh. And Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before the Lord, and there Joshua divided the land unto the children of Israel according to their divisions. And the lot of the tribe of the children of Benjamin came up according to their families, and the coast of their lot came between the children of Judah and the children of Joseph. And their border on the north side was from Jordan, and the border went up to the side of Jericho on the north side, and went up through the mountains westward, and the goings out thereof were at the wilderness of Bethaven. And the border went over from thence toward Luz, to the side of Luz, which is Bethel, southward, and the border ascended to Atarathadar, near the hill that lieth on the south side of the nether Bethhoron. And the border was drawn thence, and compassed the corner of the sea southward, from the hill that lieth before Bethhoron southward, and the goings out thereof were at Kirjath-baal, which is Kirjath-jearim, a city of the children of Judah. This was the west quarter. And the south quarter was from the end of Kirjath-jearim, and the border went out on the west, and went out of the well of waters to Nephtoah. And the border came down to the end of the mountain that lieth before the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is the valley of the giants on the north, and descended to the valley of Hinnom on the side of Jebusi on the south, and descended to Enrogel, and was drawn from the north, and went forth to Enshemesh, and went forth toward Gililoth, which is over against the going up of Adumim, and descended to the stone of Bohan the son of Reuben, and passed along toward the side over against Arabah northward, and went down to Arabah. And the border passed along the side of Beth Hoglah northward, and the goings out of the border were at the north bay of the Salt Sea at the south end of Jordan. This was the south coast. And the border was, and Jordan was the border of it on the east side. This was the inheritance of the children of Benjamin, by the coast thereof round about, according to their families. Now the cities of the tribe of the children of Benjamin, according to their families, were Jericho, and Beth Hoglah, and the valley of Keziz, and Beth Arabah, and Zemarim, and Bethel, and Avim, and Para, and Ophrah, and Cheth Harmonai, and Ophni, and Gaba, 12 cities and their villages, Gibeon, and Ramah, and Beeroth, and Mizpah, and Chephirah, and Moza, and Rechem, and Erpeel, and Tarlah, and Zala, and Eleph, and Jebusi, which is Jerusalem, Gibeath, and Kirjath, 14 cities, and with their villages. This is the inheritance of the children of Benjamin according to their families. Joshua 19. And the second lot came forth to Simeon, even to the tribe of the children of Simeon, according to their families, and their inheritance was within the inheritance of the children of Judah. So I believe, I haven't looked at the map in a while, but if you have a Bible that has a map, old maps in the back, then I believe that the territory of Simeon, when it says it's within the inheritance of the children of Judah, that you'll see in the picture that it's just like a small circle within the territory of Judah. So they're separate, but they're still surrounded by Judah, basically. It's a little weird, but yeah. And they had in their inheritance Beersheba and Sheba and Moladah, Hazar-Shul and Bala and Azim and Eltolad and Bethuel and Hormah and Ziklag and Bethmar-Kaboth and Hazar-Shusha and Beth-Lamoth and Sha'arhuan, 13 cities and their villages. Ain, Ramon, and Ether and Ashan, 4 cities and their villages. And the villages were round about these cities to Baalath-Beer, Ramoth of the south. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Simeon according to their families. Out of the portion of the children of Judah was the inheritance of the children of Simeon, for the part of the children of Judah was too much for them. Therefore the children of Simeon had their inheritance within the inheritance of them. And the third lot came up for the children of Zebulun according to their families, and the border of their inheritance was unto Sarid. And their border went up toward the sea and Maralah, and reached to Damasheth, and reached to the river that is before Jokneam, and turned from Sarid eastward toward the sun rising unto the border of Kisloth Tabor, and then goeth out to Deborah, and goeth up to Japhia, and from thence passeth along the east to Gethen Hefer, to Ittachazin, and goeth out to Ramon Methor, to Nea. And the border compasseth it on the north side of Hanathon, and the outgoings thereof are in the valley of Jipthaheel, and Kata, and Nahalal, and Shimron, and Idalah, and Bethlehem, 12 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the children of Zebulun according to their families, these cities with their villages. And the fourth lot came out to Issachar, for the children of Issachar according to their families, and the border was toward Jezreel, and Cheshulath, and Shumnem, and Hapharaim, and Shion, and Anaharath, and Rabbith, and Kishon, and Abez, and Remeth, and Enganim, and Enhadah, and Beth Pazaz. And the coast reacheth to Tabor, and to Shahazmah, and Beth Shemesh, and the outgoings of their border were at Jordan, 16 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Issachar according to their families, and the cities and their villages. And the fifth lot came out for the tribe of the children of Asher according to their families, and their border was Helkath, and Hali, and Beten, and Aksaph, and Amalek, and Amad, and Mesiel, and reacheth to Carmel westward, and to Shihor Libnath, and turneth toward the sunrise into Beth Dagon, and reacheth to Zebulun, and to the valley of Jipthaheel, toward the north side of Beth Mek, and Neel, and goeth out to Kabul on the left hand, and Hebron, and Rehob, and Hammon, and Cana, even to great Zidon. And then the coast turneth to Ramah, and the strong city Tyre, and the coast turneth to Hosa, and the outgoings thereof are at the sea of the coast of Akzib. Uma also, and Ephek, and Rehob, 22 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Asher, according to their families, these cities with their villages. The sixth lot came out to the children of Naphtali, even for the children of Naphtali, according to their families. And their coast was from Heleph, from Alon to Zanamim, and Admi, and Nekeb, and Jabneel, unto Lakum, and the outgoings thereof were at Jordan. And then the coast turneth westward to Aznoth Tabor, and goeth out from thence to Hukkok, and reacheth to Zebulun on the south side, and reacheth to Asher on the west side, and to Judah upon the Jordan, toward the sun rising. And the fenced cities are Ziddim, Zer, Hamath, Rakath, Chinerath, Admah, Ramah, Hazor, Kadesh, Edrei, and En-Hazor, and Iron, and Migdalio, Horeb, Bethanath, Beth Shemesh, 19 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Naphtali according to their families, the cities and their villages. And the seventh lot came out for the tribe of the children of Dan according to their families, and the coast of their inheritance was Zorah, Eshtaol, Ershemesh, Shalabim, Ajalon, and Jethlah, Elon, and Thimanath, and Ekron, and Eltekeh, and Gibbethon, and Baalath, and Jehud, and Ben Barak, and Gath Rimmon, Mejarkon, and Rakkon on the border before Japhel. And the coast of the children of Dan went out too little for them. Therefore the children of Dan went up to fight against Leshem, and took it, and smote it with the edge of the sword, and possessed it, and dwelt therein, and called Leshem Dan, after the name of Dan their father. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Dan according to their families, these cities with their villages. When they had made an end of dividing the land for inheritance by the coast, the children of Israel gave an inheritance to Joshua the son of Nun among them, according to the word of the Lord they gave him, the city which he asked, even Timnath-Serah in Mount Ephraim, and he built the city and dwelt therein. These are the inheritance which Eleazar the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun, and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel divided for an inheritance by lot in Shiloh before the Lord, at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So they made an end of dividing the country. Joshua 20. The Lord also spake unto Joshua, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, Appoint out for you cities of refuge, whereof I spake unto you by the hand of Moses, that the slayer that killeth any person unawares and unwittingly may flee thither, and they shall be your refuge from the avenger of blood. When he that doth flee unto one of those cities shall stand at the entering of the gate of the city, and shall declare his cause in the ears of the elders of that city, they shall take him into the city, unto them, give him a place that he may dwell among them. And if the avenger of blood pursue after him, they shall not deliver the slayer up into his hand, because he smote his neighbor unwittingly, and hated him not beforetime. And he shall dwell in that city until he stand before the congregation for judgment, and until the death of the high priest that shall be in those days. Then shall the slayer return and come unto his own city, and unto his own house, unto the city from whence he fled. And they appointed Kadesh in Galilee, and Mount Naphtali, and Shechem, and Mount Ephraim, and Kirjatharba, which is Hebron, in the mountain of Judah. And on the other side Jordan by Jericho eastward, they assigned Bezer in the wilderness upon the plain, out to the tribe of Reuben, and Ramoth and Gilead out of the tribe of Gad, and Golan and Bashan out of the tribe of Manasseh. These were the cities appointed for all the children of Israel, and for the stranger that sojourneth among them, that whosoever killeth any person at unawares might flee thither, and not die by the hand of the avenger of blood, until he stood before the congregation. Psalm 46. To the chief musician for the sons of Korah, a song upon Alamoth. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Love that first verse, is so awesome. And it continues. Therefore will we not fear. Though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof. Selah. So basically, no matter what happens, God is our refuge, and our strength, and our help. Amen to that. There is a river, and the streams thereof shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacles of the Most High. God is in the midst of her, she shall not be moved. God shall help her, and that right early. The heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us, the God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. Another awesome verse that talks about God being with us. Amen. Come, behold the works of the Lord, what desolations he hath made in the earth. He maketh wars to cease unto the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow, and cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in the fire. Be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. So that's basically... Is it word for word? Yeah, it is word for word. Psalm 46:7, Psalm 46:11. Hey, 7:11. The Lord of hosts is with us. Yep. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. Amen to that. So many great verses in this psalm. I just love that. Again, anytime you see repeating, Holy Spirit's like, hey, pay attention to this. This is important. And even if you don't see repeating, everything is still important in its own way. Like what we just read in Joshua about all the divisions and inheritance, that may seem at face value boring. I know a lot of people think it's boring. I know a lot of people who think that the genealogies are boring, who think the dimensions of things are boring. And while they could be dry, and they're not, sometimes not the most interesting, you have to remember they're in the Bible for a reason. It's in the Bible for a reason. God put it in the Bible and wanted us to have it for today's knowledge. Now, it's up to us to discern what exactly we could do with that, what we can glean from these verses. But it's in the Bible for a reason. And at the very least, it's giving us a picture of how everything's set up. So, just something to take away when you get to a dry part in the Bible. Don't be discouraged. Just read through it and just pray for discernment on what it could possibly mean. And know that God put it in the Bible for a reason. So, that's going to be it for today's reading. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're at. Remember to put God first in everything you do. Have faith in Him, trust in Him, wait upon Him, hope in Him, and you'll never be sorry. God willing, we'll see you tomorrow with more of this Bible reading plan. So, thanks again. Take care and God bless.